Your intuition is the highest form of intelligence, because it's not just rationality, because sometimes your intuition will be completely irrational. However, that'll be the right thing for you to do, because it's the path that you have to take. It's your code, your DNA, your genetic code that is aligning itself and tells you. Finding that which voice is the voice of intuition and which
Yes.
voice is just your fear or just your bias
Or something
speaking
that you've been
is the
taught as well.
thing that you need to learn throughout your life. Hi, Nadine.
Hello, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Sorry to have missed you last week.
That's okay. Thanks.
Happy Easter.
Oh, happy Easter. Yeah,
Happy
for
Easter.
me
Happy and blessed Easter.
it's yes, Easter Sunday for you. We're on Easter Monday here in Australia.
Oh, really? You're from Australia?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
amazing,
yeah.
amazing. Yes.
And the time difference
It's
isn't too
still
bad at the
Sunday. It's like
moment.
around 5 p.m.
Yeah,
on
so
Sunday.
thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to join me on a Sunday. It can be hard when we're doing.
It's wonderful. It's my only day off, so it is a good day to do
Oh,
it. And
well, thank you.
podcasting is one of my it's one of my side gigs which I like to do, because I'm very passionate about putting these thoughts out there and actually talking to people who are like-minded. So it is one of the things that I love to do. I have a podcast also. It's called
Bathroom
Bathroom Diaries.
Diaries. Yes, I
So
listened
this
to
is
an
my
episode.
attempt to put Bathroom Diaries on the map,
Yeah, good for
because I
you.
like to talk about women's issues and women's health, and how you have to align with your versions of self through time in the bathroom. So, that's where you meet yourself without any filters and without any pretensions. And that's where alignment takes place. So, it's a complex topic, but I like to dive deep into it with different things. These days we're talking about peptides,
Great.
so which is like all the rave and all the rage, and I just that. So I was like, let's see what Nadine has to say and talk to her on a Sunday. And you're the first
Cool.
time I'm doing it on a Sunday.
Oh, thank you.
Why do
I
you do it
appreciate
on
that.
Sunday? Oh, you are
Well,
on a Monday.
it's
That's why
Monday
you are
for
just
me.
starting with a Monday.
Yeah, and I I actually just opened this slot up because we missed last week. But I'm up early in the day anyway, and in fact, our clocks changed on Saturday night, and so I've been awake for what feels like hours because because our clock shifted. So
How
I'm
do you
ready.
change? Is it
We
the
went
spring
back.
daylight hours and stuff?
Full. We went back. So the mornings are lighter, and the evenings are going to get darker.
Oh,
Playing
oh,
with
really?
nature.
I don't see any reason for people to do that still in the 21st century, and I don't know why and how we're still following this 18th, 19th century
Agree.
peasant timings. It's just that.
And it's not
Meanwhile,
good for
I
your
don't know.
health.
And it actually causes like cardiac ischemia in
I
people when you
bet.
move clocks,
Yeah, yeah.
because you're just tempering with the circadian rhythm, which has now settled to a new normal, and suddenly we just disrupt it, which used to be important for mankind when in the agricultural
Yeah,
era
farming. Yeah.
of yeah. But I don't know why we still do it, and I hope somebody comes and changes it.
Do you change your clocks in the US?
Yes, we
Yeah,
have like daylight
yeah.
saving hours, and but there is no reason actually. This should be I every time it happens, I feel that I hope somebody announces that this is the last time it's happening, and it's not gonna, we're gonna just stay here.
They'd have to have a big worldwide meeting of all of the people to to
As
agree.
if we're gonna agree on this, right? And whether we agree on one thing or how are we gonna get ourselves to it? I don't know. I think
Oh.
women have to start ruling.
Can't, that is something I definitely agree on.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were having like this very animated discussion over something. And then I was just, we just came to this point that somebody asked that why is it that there have been no female prophets? And one of the things that we were like wondering that why, I mean, there have been so many men prophets, but why not women? And then the thing that came to after with that discussion was that maybe the thing is that when women are younger, there is so much this
Ah,
bustle of hormone that
yeah.
we cannot just, because we are creators. So the hormones are like so misaligned, and we're like in the throes of creating new life forms. So then what ends up happening is that we cannot download the messages and then put it together for people. However, after menopause, when when the hormones have kind of tempered down and you're no longer, creating, and that fertility question is over, at that point when it is time to do something and your brain has like that space, the brain goes dead because of the hormones.
Do you reckon?
Because we now fog, so postmenopausally women have like brain fog, and
Mm.
stuff is just not working as
I
much as
feel like
before.
that is partly, I mean, I know you're a doctor, so you've got it from a scientific point of view, and a medical point of view, but I feel like part of that is misalignment. And it's not learning in those younger years. We're not taught how to trust our intuition, and we're not taught to believe in ourselves. We're told to follow the rules um, and calm down if we're.
Yeah.
And like and
Suppress our feelings.
yeah, and also there's all
Yeah.
that lifestyle stuff that where we're pushing, pushing, pushing because we're trying to keep up, we're trying to do all of the things, and we don't have room for that flow. But I feel like there are, women in their later years that have a lot of wisdom to share.
100%. And that's actually one of my passion projects, is to help women lift themselves out of their menopause, and
Mm,
that pause, that period of time when it's not just your fertility that's pausing, it's like everything is pausing. It's an all system pause. So how to lift different organs out of its pause and put you back into the flow of things, and then stay there, recreate that flow for yourself every day, every week, every month. And that's the point of, basically what I do for these days for ladies. But I think that you're catching the right thing with intuition, because when you're young, um, people suppress your intuition.
mm, yeah.
They teach us to suppress it, keep your mouth closed, keep your fears to yourself, keep your internal intelligence, which is the highest form of intelligence. Your intuition is the highest form of intelligence, because it's not just rationality, because sometimes your intuition will be completely irrational. However, that'll be the right thing for you to do, because that's the path that you have to take as your genetic code. It's your code, your DNA, your genetic code, that is aligning itself and tells you where. And however, finding that which voice is the voice of intuition and which
Yes.
voice is just your fear or just your bias
Or something
speaking
that you've been
is the
taught as well.
thing that you need to learn throughout your life.
Yeah.
And then, by the time you're menopausal, by the time you're in the fifth or sixth decade of life, you have accumulated enough experience with yourself to know which voice was right, which voice was not, and to discern the between the two, and then to find the path that you're supposed to take next, find the steps that you have to take next. So I 100% agree with that.
I think this is going to be a great conversation and it could go in
So what
many
do you
different
do,
directions.
Nadine?
Well, I've got a background in the fitness industry. So I worked in my husband and I had a gym, and we moved from the city to the countryside here, mid North Coast, New South Wales, and we recently just sort of we've got a gym on our property, but it's very small. Like we have small groups of about 6 or 7 people that come, and we do that part time. And I've been studying astrology recently
Nice.
as part of my midlife journey and the podcast. And I've got two children who are 10 and 11. And
Wow.
yeah, and they homeschool. So
Oh,
we're, yeah.
wow.
So we got a few things going on.
Nice. Where are you located in Australia?
So on the mid north coast of New South Wales, which it's in between Sydney and Brisbane, a
Nice.
place called near Coffs Harbour, but in a little sort of quiet country town, mountain views,
Nice.
and yeah, lots
Oh,
of nature.
wow.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
stunning. Yeah,
oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
it's
That's
cool.
great.
And you're in the thick of it in the city, New York?
So I am not, I am like 30, 35 minutes north
Okay.
of Manhattan.
Okay. Wow. Completely different
So
vibe.
New York City. So it's very, so we're in the burbs,
Yeah.
and this is like a nice, quiet place.
Mm.
And I like it this way because it's quieter, there are less distractions, and I
Yeah.
can like focus on things that matter to me. And I also have a home office. So this is like the home office where I'm logging in from. And then I actually, some of my clients end up coming on Sundays because people come and see me when they're off.
Mm.
And just recently, I even built a sauna in my home office
Oh,
around
cool.
it, because I was like, when clients come for infusions or something like that, I can actually have them do the sauna and then come for a hydrating
Oh, nice.
and nutrients and that experience, which kind of aligns with the wellness, because I'm in the
Yes.
longevity,
Yeah.
stuff. I do everything related to longevity,
Yeah.
and that those are some of the things that we do.
Great.
But yeah, I would love to someday also have exercise and other modalities also
Mm.
included in a wellness trip, because without exercise, wellness is incomplete.
Mm. Yeah. It's really trying to get a balance of all of it, isn't it?
It is. It is like that tightrope walk. I sometimes feel that, that longevity is like that tightrope walk. And then if you're disciplined and you do it every day, you just get very good at it, because that's the way you are. It's like,
Yeah.
that
Becomes part of your
straight
life.
path, and
Yeah.
you don't get distracted with, you know, the zings of life,
Yeah.
slings and arrows of life, and you
Yeah.
keep at it. How
Totally.
young are you, Nadine?
How young am I? I love that. 52. Just turned 52 last
Oh,
week.
you are young. That is not even the pediatrics of geriatrics. You are completely young.
And how about you? Am I allowed to ask?
Well, I am older than you. How's that? Let's leave it at that. Age is just a number. It's an illusion.
Yeah, I know.
I
I know.
tell everybody that, age is your chronological age is just a number.
Yeah.
And the only thing you need to know is that you don't have to age helplessly.
Mm.
You have to age with agency. You have to age with sources and resources which are actually available to you. And in the 21st century, you should actively seek to not age as if you were in the 18th century, because you're not.
Yeah, we are not. No, I'm totally with you. I love all longevity lifestyle stuff. I do all of the things. I try and get premium sleep, track my sleep, sauna, cold plunge, careful with my nutrition. Well, like do a little bit of intermittent fasting, making sure I'm getting enough protein at the moment is a big one for me. Exercise, time in nature, meditation. I'm trying
Nice.
to do, yeah. So I'm really into all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm super keen
Oh,
to
that's great.
hear your
That's great. Yeah.
all of your
Yeah.
things. So I'm
Are you on
gonna
any hormones?
no, no,
Not yet.
hopefully never.
Listen, that
There's my midlife rebel,
ideology is
right?
changing. Yeah,
Yes.
mid, right? That idea. So one of the things that's been happening over the past few years is that the understanding of menopause
Mm,
is like leading us to into places and spaces where we find things that are biosimilar,
mm.
identical to
Yes.
what your body used to produce,
Yep.
or create paths where your body starts reproducing those same elements that it used to produce all these years,
Mm,
or else wherever it is lacking or wherever it is low or in a state of depletion, then what you can do is that as biosimilar as possible, exists out here.
yeah.
Imagine that,
I
isn't
think
that an
that,
amazing
yeah,
thing?
it
And
is.
then to utilize it into your system.
Yeah. I had a really great guest on a few weeks ago, and she was talking about that. She works with women and does a lot of testing. She starts with gut health, but she was sort of saying that like you need to test, retest, and really be on top of it, because sometimes you might need it, sometimes you might not. And I think that the biggest issue I have with it right now, and I've heard you talk about this on other podcasts that I've listened to a couple of different episodes that you did. And the biggest issue I have with it right now is that doc I hear from friends that doctors aren't testing and they're just prescribing. Women go in, they say that they're, experiencing, whether it's mood swings, lack of sleep, whatever it might be, and they just get given a prescription without any testing to see what is actually out of balance. And so I'm kind of like, I'm all about education. I love learning things. I feel, yeah, if I found the right person and I felt like I was lacking in something, then I would definitely go down an alternative route rather than going to a doctor. You know,
Yeah.
I had difficulty a few years ago even getting a blood test for my vitamin D when I went to
Wow.
a regular GP. It was like a battle to just try and get that blood work done. Taking
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
taking some giving me some empowerment to make some choices for myself. It was a difficult,
Mm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where
Yeah.
I'm sitting with it. Like,
Yeah.
I understand that there are some benefits, but I also think that there's not enough people out there that are teaching it in the right way. Hopefully,
Yeah.
you're one of them.
One of the
Can I,
maybe,
before we go on, can I kick us
yes.
off into the intro so that we
Oh,
can
yes.
include some of this in the, I mean, I could do
Halfway
some
through
editing.
the conversation, let's introduce us.
So
I love it.
I'm already recording, so I'll do the intro and then
Nice.
we'll get stuck in, and maybe we'll just kick off where we left off. But
Yeah, it's
um,
cool. It's
cool.
cool. Let
Okay.
it flow the way it is coming to you.
Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah. All right. Conversations on midlife bring a lot of attention to our changing bodies, but what about our changing beauty? My guest today, Dr. Sophia Din, has spent over 25 years in medicine and now focuses on longevity, vitality, and aesthetic medicine through a lens that blends both Eastern and Western approaches. Years of working in geriatrics reshaped how she sees aging, and today she helps people take a more intentional approach to moving through midlife and aging well. Today, Dr. Din is going to teach us more about what it looks like to take a more informed, intentional approach to both health and beauty in midlife. Thanks for joining me. We've already started having pretty good conversation before the official intro. Should we carry on, or should we change tack a
Absolutely.
little bit? Okay. So we were just talking.
Well,
Yeah, it kind of all fits together, doesn't it? What we were talking about before.
yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Mostly women, when they come to me, or men, when they come to me, they are experiencing some form kind of a problem,
mm,
where with their either skin or hair, or just energy, or just like the way they are feeling in their system. It's like your body is a vessel that is carrying your consciousness through time and gravity and hormonal imbalance. And then what ends up happening is that suddenly when you enter into your 40s and your especially your late 40s and early 50s, it seems to many people as if this check engine light has just turned on, where whatever you do, your normal routines, when first of all, I hope that all your routines are healthy. I hope that there are no toxic substances entering your system on a daily routinely basis. However, even if you're leading your life really in an undistracted, healthy way, and you're taking care of your exercise and food and sleep and hydration and friends and environment, you would still find that there's a check engine light that is on, that there is a metabolic sluggishness that has taken over your system. And no matter how hard you push against it, it is just like a mountain that never moves. So that is the point where people start finding somebody around them who can assist them. In United States, at least, so I don't know about Australia where you're at and how the medical system is created, because I've never been to Australia yet, but looks like I may have to come and see you. But what ends up happening in United States is that there are two systems of management. There is a healthcare system, which is an insurance-led system that is just a disease management system. It is a sickness-based system. So it is like if you were a car, your health insurance system is just like your car insurance system. And what ends up happening is that it only gets triggered and activated if you are in an accident. So your insurance system only gets activated if you're in a disease or a sickness. So how for health and wellness, it's always your own problem. Beauty is for definitely your own problem. All cosmetics is out of pocket cost. So so I believe that wherever this system is created, the first world countries, they were very good. They helped their citizens with the fact that if you get sick, you have the insurance system activates. In the third world country, even that is out of pocket for people because there is no insurance. So in third world countries, people try to stay healthy because they're like, oh my God, if I get sick, I'll have to pay for everything, and for all that, sickness management. But aging itself is a disease. And however, aging is not considered a disease in itself. And then the other thing that happens is that aging rapidly accelerates after the pause. So if you're a female, it's menopause. You have something called menopause. If you're a man, your body also goes through a pause. However, that pause is not even recognized as a phase or as a problem, because menopause or andropause, which men go through, are just considered normal phases of aging. And since aging is not considered a problem in itself, none of these problems that occur as a result of aging are really not covered. So that's where a new parallel system of health and wellness is being created. I mean, I am one of those people who went into that parallel system of work and healing, where we're like, we're going to take care of healthy people, or people who want to stay healthy, or who want to proactively make sure that they are vibrant, and their systems, all systems are go, and to take care of them and to find them ways to keep themselves healthy. And yes, beauty is just the tip of the iceberg. So I always like to point out to the fact that when you find somebody who's looking vibrant and young and healthy and beautiful, just know that there are behind that person are probably not only just great genes, but also a lot of practices, daily habits, and systems that they're probably doing, which you may not see. And you always have to keep that in mind when you find somebody. Like, for example, I'm looking at you, I know you, without even saying anything to me, I can tell that you're somebody who has looked after herself, and who is routinely looking after herself. And on a Sunday, why else would you even be talking to somebody like me? And that is, you know, so it's a journey. So understanding that there is a sickness management system and there is a health management system, and you have to pick the two, because otherwise you'll just fall into one of them, because you won't fall into just health by chance. Your health is a choice that you make. And however, falling into disease and sickness is always the consequence of indecision and inaction towards a proactive, healthy being. It's a journey that you make for yourself. And in the 21st century, that journey means something else. And you definitely have to find practitioners and people who are actually doing these things around you. And people like me exist in every town. Because I was not the only person who went into this. A lot of doctors, a lot of nurses, a lot of people who had trained in I call it the dark side of medicine, where you have to go through that dark side of disease and sickness management to even value your health. Because if your doctor is not trained in what happens to somebody when they're aging, and when sicknesses just take hold of you and refuse to leave you, then how else is this person going to just heal you, or keep you healthy, or tell you what are the things that, if you do, you will just, it's just an exit to that system. Because there are several exits that you can take to go to the sickness system, because sickness is right around the corner. Death is Human life is so fragile. The only reason we have prolonged our lifespans is because of science, because of technology, because of us being in these protective systems. But now what our next obstacle, and the next learning, and the next awakening that is in front of us, is how to align our health span to match our extended lifespan. Because it's all about health, it's all about energy, and how you lead your life will lead you to those points.
Wow. Well, firstly, it feels like this is a movement. We were talking before we started the official conversation, and you were saying, I think women need to lead the world. And you're a prime
Yes.
example of what we need in the health system right now is
Yes.
more people, more doctors who are ready to stand up and say, we need to make a change with the way that we approach our health and our life. Can you break down for us the difference between lifespan, health span, and beauty span?
Well, that's an excellent question. And the thing is that your lifespan is chronologically whatever amount of life that you're going to live. It mostly depends upon your genetics, but your environment also counts in it. Because if you are in a first world country, you there is a possibility that you will outlive your sicknesses and diseases and will prolong your lifespan. However, health span is different. Health span is the span of time when you're naturally healthy, and you have energy, and you don't have different chronic diseases, whether they are diseases of environmental diseases like diabetes, or obesity, or different addictions, or whatever else, or you have genetic disease, whatever. Health span is when you're healthy. Usually people in a longer lifespan, the last 10, 20 years of their life is spent, even though they're alive, is spent basically battling different diseases. So that is not, I do not consider that a health span. So that I feel that, when your health ends, your span of life after that life after health, after losing health, is not really that great
Not
because you're
fun.
basically suffering. You're living in suffering. What I realized during my work in learning, as I went into learning about how to preserve skin and beauty, I realized that health span is intimately tied with beauty, because if you're not healthy, your beauty is gone like this in a snap. And that's why I tell people that if you go to the hospital, you won't find anybody who's beautiful. If you find somebody in a hospital bed looking very beautiful, most likely you're watching a movie. Because it doesn't happen in real life. I worked there.
Oh.
I know it's like, even beautiful people don't look beautiful when they're sick. And it just health. You're actually beauty is like the epitome of all the health that you can accumulate for yourself. So I do think that if somebody wants to stay in touch with their, connected with their versions of self that they consider beautiful, then it is, and we can go later into what is culturally beautiful and what was beautiful in 18th century and what is beautiful in the 21st century. That culture may change, but beauty is always tied with health. It's always tied with energy. It is always tied with creativity. It is always tied with, all the good stuff that makes you feel happy and satisfied with yourself. And it's always beauty. In my world, I always say that you have to be your own best beholder. No matter where you are in the realm of things, the fact that you exist, the fact that you are here in the 21st century and you made it means that thousands of people before you, your ancestors, happened to make you come into being. So you're no less than a miracle. And accepting yourself in whatever form you are is number one. That is number one. And no matter who else thinks whatever else for about you, you must consider yourself beautiful. And the thing is that beauty is something that is, yeah, personally, I feel it is a genetic code. It is a DNA. It comes into your, you express it, you manifest it, and it kind of evolves as you evolve. And that's it. And when somebody looks at you and they think that you're beautiful, that means that, you are projecting it, and that's how you're being viewed. So I would say that chronologically, wherever you are, if the first thing, that order of business should always be to remain healthy. And then we can always find, versions of self that we consider beautiful. And do not seek beauty in the land of aesthetics, because aesthetics is nothing but a preservative. That is, what, like, one of the things I like to say is like, don't, if you go to a doctor and the doctor says, come here, I will make you beautiful, please run away as fast as you can, because nobody can make you beautiful. The only person who could make you beautiful is your mother, and that's it.
And a healthy
Go fight
lifestyle.
with your mother if you don't feel beautiful, you know. But a doctor can preserve your beauty. A doctor can may be able to help you figure out what are the features that you really love and how to keep them the longest, what to eat, what not to eat, how to sleep, how to, or after a certain point, what skincare to do, what hair care to do. I mean, maybe, your doctor may be able to assist you in preserving it, preserving your connection with it. And menopause is that phase in life where your connection with your beauty becomes loose, and then you get disconnected from it. And then one of the things that I like to say is that after menopause, consider the medical grade skincare, which will help you stay connected with your versions of self. And these preservatives are not made to change you. They are not made to. They should not alter your perception of self. They should just keep it there. That's it.
Yeah,
And you know,
that's
the better trained person you will find, that's exactly what they're going to tell you. If if somebody is telling you something else, it's because they have not completed their training. They need to train more.
okay. That's good to know. And I want to get more into that and just to hear your insights around those, what do you call them? Beauty preservation activities. Let's say I'm not going to say anything else. But I was really interested. I listened to your TED talk about vanity is not a dirty word, and you were relating beauty and our perception of self with our health span or lifespan. There are some correlations, and I was very surprised. It makes sense, but can you share a little bit about that with us?
So one of the things that I always also like to, educate my patients and clients is something called chronic skin failure,
Mm,
and its impact on the human psyche and your
right.
brain, and how these two things are related. So one of the things that is becoming evident to people like us is that your brain cells and your skin cells are very intimately related.
Mm,
And the reason is that when you are a small embryonic tissue, at that point, the outermost layer of that tissue, which is the ectoderm, half of it turns into your brain cells and half of it turns into your skin cells. So
mm,
basically, these two cells are intimately related. You're quantum entangled at birth. And then they have an impact on each other. Your brain, so your body is made for your brain. So your brain looks at self, so versions of self, and that's how it aligns and it knows where it is through time. So one of my hypotheses on this is that when you have skin failure accumulating in different parts of your visible face, which is your public facing face, where how people see you as you, how you recognize you as you. When those features change, and when those features start showing signs of degradation and failure, that has an impact on the brain. And
mm,
we see that people who are in the nursing homes, they can't recognize themselves, they don't like themselves. When they see themselves, they can't understand what's happening to them. Why is their skin failing? And this is chronic skin failure that is accumulating on your face. And unfortunately, any degradation that happens to your skin is considered a cosmetic problem,
mm.
and it is just brushed aside that, either it is vanity if you look after your skin, or if you're like worrying that, oh, why my skin is used to be like this and now it is like hanging on my chest. And or why you have like a
A jowl
second
or
chin hanging
yeah.
over here, like what's going on.
Yeah.
And the nobody will address that,
Mm,
because they say that it's part of routine aging,
mm,
but and they just leave skin completely protected, or we don't address any of these initial signs and symptoms, or even later signs and symptoms, for whatever reason. And I disagree with that, because I think that skin failure has an impact on your brain,
mm,
and vice versa. And these things, there are things that are now available to us that help us prevent the chronic failing of skin. Because remember, again, skin is an organ. Just like your heart fails, or your kidneys fail, or your other systems fail, your skin also fails. And when your skin fails, it falls. So how to keep this tissue alive, how to keep it vibrant and healthy, is not just through the gut. There are other means of keeping this tissue alive. And, one of my life's purposes is also to work more, learn more, and bring it into focus for others.
And there's actually a correlation between living longer if you have
Yeah.
if you feel better about the way that you look.
Yes. Yes. 100%.
Amazing.
Isn't it? And we feel it. Like
Mm,
even now, I feel like if I go and look at myself, and if I'm feeling like, oh, I'm looking tired,
mm,
or I'm like my skin doesn't have its like luster that it used to have, it makes me feel tired.
yeah, makes you feel a bit
And
down on
it
yourself, doesn't
does
it?
exactly because that's how you perceive yourself.
Yeah,
That's why my podcast is called Bathroom Diaries, because that's where you face off with yourself.
yeah,
And the first person that you have to align with is your own self. So
mm,
you look at yourself and you say, okay, what is it that, I have today that I need to focus on? And the thing is, mostly it should be nothing. You should be in a habit of taking care of yourself, and it should be a routine. And the skincare and whatever care, because there are so many cares that we have. But I believe that the advent of artificial super intelligence is only going to bring us closer
mm,
to helping ourselves, because I think that I don't know. I mean, I don't know why mankind went into weaponizing artificial intelligence
right,
before we used it for healthcare, because I
right.
think its best utility will be in health
Yeah.
and wellness and longevity. But however, we're using it instead in killing each other. But currently, basically, what it should do is, help us live longer and know our bodies better and know our skins better, because it is a large language model, so it can keep all the data and figure out which is fake news and which is real, and help us
Mm,
and become the conduit with our doctors and our healthcare management people who can come and help us align with our health. And that, I think, will help us bring our health spans in accordance with our lifespans and extend both. Because why should humans, we consider ourselves more intelligent than trees, then why should humans live much less than the trees? An average human lives much less than an average tree.
yeah. And they don't fight with each other. And you
And
see
they don't
different
fight
and
with
you
each
see
other.
different species, even if it's not native to the area, they don't like fight each other for
Yeah,
it. They just grow together.
yeah,
I always think that
yeah. They
with
grow
trees
together.
and plants.
They protect each other. They
Yeah,
share their
yeah,
nutrients.
yeah,
They have internal networks of nutrients. They have these pipes, their roots
yeah.
attached to each other. They protect their young. They
Mm.
protect each other. They try to, they recycle.
But we're smarter than them
Meanwhile,
because we can
we
because
very,
we can talk.
and we call ourselves smarter than them,
Mm.
but we're just a blip in time. And yes, now we have brains that are functioning a little better, but every time our brains start functioning better and we get somewhere, our men start fighting,
Fighting about it. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense, does it?
fighting about resources,
Mm.
which is like, I don't know.
Mm.
I hope I don't have all
Thank
the
you.
solutions.
That's a hot
That's a
topic
different
for
lecture.
another for another time. I'm really curious
That's
about
a different Sunday.
that's a different Sunday, yeah. When we're changing the world, one conversation at a
Yeah,
time.
women will change. Yeah, the
I'm
prophets of the future are going to come through women. That's
yes,
what one of
yes,
the things that I like to say these days.
yeah, good. We need to hear more of that. I am really curious. When I was sort of doing some research on your work and preparing for this conversation. One of the things that came up for me is this. It's a real it's really tricky, and I'm sure you can help us unpack this, is this idea of like delaying the way that we look. Yeah, anti-aging for our skin, for example. And you have written a book called "Do We Really Need Botox?" And you use Botox, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is just as an example, but it's like, how do we determine if we actually need it, or if it's low self-esteem compared to wanting to feel better about ourselves? Like, that's a very fine line. Plus, see so much stuff on the internet about women in particular who are having surgeries, changing the way that they look, distorting the way that they are supposed to look naturally. So, like, how do we unpack all of that? I remember when in our gym in Sydney, we had a dermatologist that worked for us, not worked for us, trained with us. And he told me about Botox parties and these women that, these affluent women who had parties and they all had their Botox done. It was all a bit of a thing. But that there was he had to like limit the amount of times that they could come because there were women that were getting addicted to having Botox treatments. And so there are these negative connotations about doing these sorts of things to ourselves. But you've got a different lens. How do we break it down and know whether it's something we need? Do we really want it, or are we just think we need it because someone said that we should look a certain way? Like, how do we unpack all of that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is real, and this is like real conversation. Your podcast should be real conversations or
Yeah.
something. So you asked so many questions all in one, and
Sorry.
this is where I it is perfect, but this is a question of our time, is that how to understand the seeking. It's like, what are you seeking? So if you're seeking beauty through Botox, just know that Botox is not going to make you beautiful. It is a preservative.
Okay.
Beauty is a genetic code. You get it from your mother. Either you have it or you don't. And if there are some people who are beautiful, but they were raised by people who did not think of them as beautiful, so they internalized that, and so they have body dysmorphia. So a lot of beautiful people could be very pretty, but they have internalized where their brain cannot perceive them as beautiful. And body dysmorphia also should not be treated in the halls of a Botox injector. And because nobody can give you beauty again. So, come to that point. So, if you have body dysmorphia and you think that Botox will make you beautiful, I'm sorry, that doesn't happen. If you think that you don't have beauty and I can give you beauty, I'm sorry, you gotta go talk to your mommy or your daddy. Whatever issue you have,
Right.
that's that, it's not ours. So these treatments, first of all, do not make you beautiful. The purpose of Botox is anti-aging. It stops your skin from aging in the areas that we inject it. So it's an anti-aging treatment. Sometimes it's injected medicinally for certain disorders also. And that actually Botox for beauty treatments was by accident. It was an accidental discovery. It was basically some ophthalmologists were trying to relax the muscle spasms around the eye, and they realized that wherever they injected, the skin started looking younger. The people
Oh.
who were using it, they started looking younger, because what ends up happening is that it's a muscle relaxer. And what it does is that it stays in your system only for 4 or 5 days. We inject it in certain muscle groups, and as it relaxes the muscle, it repairs the flow of blood and the flow of lymphatics to the skin, anti-aging the skin and turning back time for skin.
It
So
literally
it's a
does
very
that, does
useful
it?
treatment.
It's not a
Yes, it
temporary,
does.
it's not a temporary get rid of the crow's feet or the, frown lines.
The frown lines and stuff. It is temporary because it is a
Ah,
medication. It is a medication, so it goes into your system just like a medicine. It is injected under the skin, and then it lasts in your body maybe 2.5 to 3 months.
uh-huh.
If you're very fortunate and young, it may last for 4 or 5 months. But as you get older, the medication lasts, almost 2 to 3 months, and then it is time to get it again, just like any other medication. And it's an anti-aging medication. It's one of the fastest acting anti-aging medications for skin in the world. And within 10 days you can see that the skin has visibly gone back in time. Now, it's not for beauty. Beauty you is a different subject
Okay.
altogether. However, if you thought of yourself as beautiful, it will bring you back to that version of self.
Mm,
If you, when you were for the first time in your 20s, or for the first time when you were in your 30s, if you didn't think of yourself as beautiful, and then suddenly now you are 40 and 50, and we bring you back maybe 10 years, suddenly women start finding themselves beautiful again. Why? Because the first time that they were going through time, they didn't appreciate their beauty as much.
mm,
But now, because more time had accumulated and other people's opinions did not matter to them anymore in that particular decade of life, and they are reconnected back to a prior version of self, they suddenly find themselves beautiful, because their consciousness has developed and grown to find the beauty in their own existence. So that's what I feel, that where we people mix up this thing, that, oh, they may think that the Botox is making it beautiful. No, honey, you were always beautiful, probably. You just didn't know it back then, because you had other issues, that you had daddy issues to conquer, you had mommy issues to conquer, you had other issues to conquer, you had partner issues to conquer. However, now that you have conquered them and we are bringing you back in time, you can appreciate yourself a little more. It's not Botox that's connecting you to beauty. It is perhaps, but it is not that it is going to make you beautiful. It's only connecting to you to a beauty that was already present in you.
mm,
That version of self existed. We are not creating it out of nowhere. And that is why that when body dysmorphia occurs in women, it is very painful to watch them, because you would find like this completely drop dead gorgeous person saying that I can't see myself as pretty.
mm,
What's wrong with me? So that is the thing. So however, I do think that it's an anti-aging medication. It's wonderful, and it needs to be done in a very aesthetically pleasing way. It should look natural. It shouldn't alter your perception of self. It shouldn't alter your movement of face, because sometimes, and people do get addicted to everything,
mm,
including Botox. So, I mean, just like you can, but however, I tell people that if you have to choose your toxic substances that you're going to get addicted to, Botox is not such a bad toxic substance.
okay.
It stays in your, if you first of all, you'll do it every 3 months or something, and it is like something that stays in your system for 4 to 5 days. It does what it does, and then exits your system, and you enjoy the results of that work for the next 2 3 months. So sometimes I joke with my friends that the only toxic substance that you should let enter your system is Botox, nothing else. You
Are
know.
there any side effects, long-term side effects?
Yes. So again, it is very technical. It's a very skilled kind of a professional that you have to go to. So, because it is a toxic substance, it's a
Mm.
toxin.
Yeah.
So you need to go to somebody. You want to know that the product is genuinely used. Somebody is trained to do it, and then yes, just like any tool, any medication has side effects. This has side effects too. However, if done judiciously in under the care of somebody who is trained well, you will find that it brings you benefits and you will escape the side effects. It's just like imagine again, I'm going to give you a car analogy that, driving a car. What are the side effects of driving a car? You can die, you can kill
Mm.
someone,
Yeah.
you can break
Yeah.
a leg, you can break your hair. However, do you drive a car? Yes.
Mm.
If you want to get to from point A to point B in quickly, you should get in a car. And it's okay to walk too, but like, you will get there by walking also, but like it's better to go and get into a car because guess what? You're in the 21st century now. So, similarly, I think that these medications, if you go to the right practitioner, they will bring you benefit and they will not guide you wrong. So do your research for that matter.
Mm.
But exploring these medications, especially after menopause or during perimenopause or postmenopausally, is very important for women because it does help. Now, it's not going to make you healthy. It's
No.
just going to make your skin healthy in certain areas of your public facing face. That's really it. So it's not all of the elements of healthy and vibrant life, but it is a very good element because your appearance of self to yourself will impact your brain and your psyche and how you lead your days.
Yeah. And I guess it's like the icing on the cake, isn't it? Like if you've got all of the other things lined up and you're doing all of the other right things and taking care of
Yeah.
the body
Yeah,
and
these
the
things are not
emotions and
mutually exclusive.
mm,
These things are not mutually exclusive. So if somebody is doing Botox, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't eat well and they should
yeah,
not sleep well and they shouldn't exercise and they shouldn't like do. You need to do all of those things. And actually, people who really take good internal and external care of themselves, they are the only ones who actually are see the value of just this, because it's not just appearing like someone. It's also like health is like it's like a full package. It's not like, this is just a little tiny slither of icing. As you mentioned, it is a icing on the cake of your life and your existence. That yes, you also do not have frown lines. Even it doesn't mean that your life is not it doesn't have chaos in it, or you're not facing obstacles in your journey. It just means that you're not wearing your obstacles on your face,
yeah, yeah. And do you
you know.
have you in recent times started to use stem cell therapy? I've heard of the vampire facial. Is it where the stem cells are injected into this skin?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes. So I believe in stem cells. So stem cells are cells that we draw from your blood. These
Mm,
are cells that have not, these are baby cells that
yeah.
can convert into any kind of cells wherever you place them. They're very restoring, and this is like a restorative, and it will in rejuvenating measure that you can do. However, before in my practice, before we give you stem cells, we also give you a lot of infusions, intravenous infusions,
Okay.
nutrients and elements that make your blood young, because stem
Mm,
cells are derived from usually your own blood. So if your blood is old and is depleted in certain nutrients and minerals and whatnot, then what will end up happening is that you may not experience the youthfulness that you're seeking with your stem cells. So because the blood won't be able to yield what you're seeking. So you have to first, get your blood to that level where when they draw it and they spin it and take out the growth factors and stem cells, it has the power to
yeah.
restore your skin. So yes, I do believe in, and actually, stem cells, like, we use them very routinely for hair restoration, because one of the earliest symptoms of menopause and perimenopause is hair loss and the repairing hair, because hair is just an extension of your skin. So the when chronic skin failure starts happening, it shows in your hair. So stem cells do great wonders for hair repair and restoration, and especially anybody who has had a hair transplant, whether it's a man or a woman, they definitely benefit from routine stem cell treatments for the hair.
Okay.
It's like
What?
feeding your hair,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
through the scalp.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. Well, you mentioned the IV vitamins and whatnot. What sort of things do you? What are those? Are they like anti-aging supplements that you
Yes.
deliver intravenously?
Yes. So intravenous, so basically what ends up happening is, again, this is also like something that for menopause or andropause, people use it. But intravenous supplements were first made famous by sports people,
Mm,
because sports people, because they're constantly on the go, they're very health conscious, they're also very weight conscious. So in between their strenuous exercise schedules and work and games, they need quick recovery
yeah.
from that work. So sports medicine just popularized these methods of supplementing yourself. So they were the first ones. Now, so there are treatments, the intravenous treatments and formulas for sports medicine people. Then there are treatments and formulas. So these are basically formulas of
Yeah.
different elements and nutrients that we procure. And then we put it together. So for sports medicine, these formulas are distinctly different because they require different things. Aesthetics, where we are doing skincare and hair care, is like a slightly bit more complex. We put some more stuff in it. Then we have like infusions for fertility, and so that where the combinations of nutrients and minerals are completely different,
Hmm.
and it's a lot more complex. And that's the so there are various kinds of infusion formulas that you would find throughout the world. And I've dabbled in all of them, and I love to prepare. So I have my own set of formulas because I've been working on it for almost a decade now. However, my favorite formulations are aesthetic formulations and fertility formulations. I don't do as much sports formulations because they are very simple. Because people who are in sports, they are already super healthy, they're already super energetic, they're basically looking for a little recovery and some hydration. So those are very simple formulations that are like so easily available everywhere. However, beauty is a little more complex. Fertility is like totally
Oh, yeah.
complex. And these days, women, girls, we tell them to go and, freeze their eggs and store their eggs for later use. So that brings us to like really helping them produce better quality eggs. Because listen, your body is going to, you're the creator, you are going to create these you're going to lay these eggs, that's it. So we want to give you the right nutrients. And why do we want people to have the nutrients? Because sometimes what ends up happening is that, especially for aesthetics and menopause, when the fertility is pausing, your gut is also pausing. So it's not absorbing all the nourishment that you used to be able to absorb very easily when you were in your 20s and 30s. So we need to bypass the gut and just supply the nutrients to your skin and hair directly. And for fertility, we just want to give you extra nourishment, because many times when women are trying to, produce good eggs, they are also trying to not gain too much weight,
Mm,
because you can't eat your way to all this nourishment. So I think that the future of mankind is bright because of all this knowledge that we're accumulating at
yeah.
this point.
As long as women are leading and the men don't kill everyone
Yes. Yes,
in the
we
meantime.
have to produce better men,
Yes. Maybe this will help.
you know. You have to raise better men, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Well, I don't know. I mean, less boring, less destructive
yeah,
men would be just the right thing to do for the world at this point.
yeah. As we come to a close, because we have kind of reached our hour. It just
Oh wow,
flies, and
we're like we just
I
went
didn't
zip
get,
through it.
I know, I didn't
Wow.
get through half of the things, but that's all right. Um, Everything that you shared has been, yeah, really insightful. Can you share with us your top five anti-aging practices or protocols that we can do at home? Have you got a top five?
So yeah, so I actually wrote like this really big article. You can find it in my
Okay.
Substack
Oh,
also, where
cool.
it's called DIY, which is do it yourself at
Great.
home. And there were things that you do it yourself, which is like your sleep, your food, your moving your body, meditating. I also recommend women to keep their pelvic floor active
Okay.
via sex, via whatever stimulation, if sex is not possible. And all those things will allow your body to stay healthy and energetic. And then beyond do it yourself, and there's some supplements that you can
Yep.
purchase
Okay.
over the counter, some stuff that we essentially some brain protective supplements and some gut protective supplements, and also for your bone health, take your adequate amounts of protein. So those things aside, there are beyond DIY things for which you need to find a doctor.
Yeah.
So that is like please follow me on Substack, Sophia
Yes. Yes.
Din.
We'll
And
share
then
your link.
my podcast is Bathroom Diaries, where I go on, like, I try to go in at least twice a month, and we go in depth, in deep dives into different things, and we demystify some of these wellness and longevity protocols and procedures and treatments for people. And
Right.
I would welcome your audience to come and give it a listen. And I hope,
Absolutely.
even if we're able to, um, help one person, I feel that I've done my work. But, the more, the merrier.
Amazing. We're going to share your links in the show notes, and we've also got a guest directory. So we'll put your profile into the guest directory, and the links will be there as well. As I
Thank you.
mentioned earlier in the conversation, I think this is a movement, and with people like you at the forefront, yeah, the future sounds
Yes,
bright. Thank you so much for
it
joining
is.
me.
It is.
Yeah, it's been a really great conversation. Loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye, Nadine. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.